Hey there, this is Heidi from Create with Heidi, and today I am going to show you how to make a going away gift. I made this going away gift for my coworker using glitter vinyl for the card, which is this first part that I'm showing you. And then for the second part, I used bubble-free mirror chrome vinyl. What I always do to begin my projects is I get all my materials and I cut it to the size that I'm going to need it to be for my project, so that when it's time to cut, I can just put all of the pieces on as the cutting is going and not have to stop and mess with a roll of vinyl for every layer. Alright, now that I have all of my vinyl prepped, I'm going to begin cutting with my Cricut machine. I am using a standard tack mat, and once I get the vinyl on the mat, I use a brayer to really make sure that it adheres well to that mat and doesn't shift around while cutting. For this project, I chose to weed each layer while it was still on the mat. The reason why is because with bigger pieces of vinyl, sometimes you can get curling once you take it off the mat, and I wanted to leave it on so that it was nice and easy to weed. When I start weeding, you will see that the words are sideways on the vinyl. I did that so the color would go sideways through the letters instead of being in lines. I hope that makes sense what I'm saying. Like, I wanted the words to have different colors, not just each line of what I wrote to have different colors. Okay, for this last piece of vinyl, I decided to use an X-Acto knife and cut it down to size so that I could keep that excess vinyl for another project. Alright, all of my weeding is done, so now we're going to move to the card. What I have here is a very large piece of cardstock to make a giant card with. In my hand, I have an engraving tool that I used to do that middle line so that it would be a nice, clean, crisp line, and then just use the end of it to kind of make that crease even more firm. For glitter vinyl, you want to use the yellow grid transfer tape. It is a stronger tack and holds onto that glitter vinyl a lot better. I just want to note that I always use a scraper when I transfer vinyl. I think I just got in my groove, and since I hadn't gotten the scraper out of my bag yet, I just grabbed what was there and started using it and didn't really realize what I was doing. Unfortunately, I only had this skinny piece of yellow transfer tape, so I had to do this puzzle piece in 2 different shifts, so to speak, because I didn't have anything wide enough to work with this puzzle piece. You can see here it got a little bit off. I think that was totally user error. So you can see I have a little piece of the corner up. So what I did was I pushed it down and then I used the X-Acto knife to cut it so that I could reposition those pieces in that corner to make it lie flat. And I used the X-Acto knife to cut just a little sliver off so that it would line up flush, and it turned out perfect. Okay, this card is done. For part 2, I'm using the bubble-free mirror chrome. A tip I like to share is I like to cut out the sticker that has the name of the vinyl on it and stick it on the inside of the roll so that in the future I know what color I'm using, or if I run out and want to reorder, I know exactly which one it is. I am just cutting out about a 3x3 square here. I'm cutting out a saying that's going to go on a mug. It's always important to make sure that the vinyl you're using, if it has a thin clear layer on top, you remove that before cutting. Now that that's cut, I'm going to do some weeding. One thing I want to note, as I'm sure some people will see it, when I pulled it out of the machine, I saw that one of the dots of one of the eyes was missing, and I looked around for it and couldn't find it anywhere, so I decided to just pull off the dot on the other eye so that it would be uniform. Definitely something that I noticed and just had to improvise. I used the yellow grid transfer tape for this too. I typically use the red grid transfer tape, but yellow is what I had handy since that's what I used on the card, and it worked great. Alright, for the last step, I'm using tissue paper and balling it up in the bottom of the mug, and I am sticking a whole bunch of suckers in there since it says work will suck without you. And that is the finished product. Thank you for joining me today.